Hi friends, it's Belinda here from Be Making Joy, and welcome to my channel. This is episode 18 of What Brings Me Joy, a mostly knitting podcast, and this episode will be posted on Wednesday, October the 11th, so happy Whip Wednesday. So for the month of October, I promised you I'd post an episode every week to keep you up to date with my progress on the Geogradient Mystery Knit Along with Stephen West. And today I also have some new yarn acquisition from a store we stumbled upon in Leduc, Alberta. And I have the Yarn of the Month, Color of the Month yarn from Ancient Arts here in Calgary. But first, let me tell you about a giveaway I'm doing on this channel. Because I won a prize from Ancient Arts last month, I wanted to share it forward. I wanted to share my good fortune with you by buying an extra skein of the October Color of the Month for a giveaway. And when Caroline, the owner of Ancient Arts, heard that I was doing this, she wouldn't let me pay for the yarn. So she donated a skein of the October Color of the Month for our giveaway. So thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much. And I'll link Ancient Arts website in the description box below, as I always do every time I share you the Color of the Month. And we'll tell you more about this in the acquisitions section. Okay, so let's talk about the Geogradient Mystery Knit Along, the reason for my extra episodes this month. The elephant in the room is that there was a lot of controversy over Clue 1 this week. I wasn't on social media for the first couple of days because my husband and I were binge watching Netflix while I knit. So I was 3/4 of the way along before I found out on Saturday that the version I was knitting was deleted and replaced by the new version, the updated version. And most of the knitting community already knows, but if you don't, what happened was some people were starting to see a resemblance in the design to a certain German pinwheel that's associated with the Holocaust. I wasn't seeing it. The designer, Stephen West, certainly didn't intend it to look that way. So I spent a good part of Saturday meditating on the matter before I decided to pivot along with Stephen and knit his new version instead. You see, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jehovah's Witnesses were also persecuted in the concentration camps. So I thought about it, and I thought, even if I don't see the resemblance, what would my spiritual brothers and sisters feel if they saw the resemblance? So I didn't want to hurt anyone. I don't believe in erasing history. I cannot wear any resemblance to a swastika. I don't even want to know how to say the word properly. So here's the new design. It's all finished. Clue 1 complete, ready for Clue 2. Simple square, radiating from the center outward. In Stephen's words, radiating love. With love radiating outwards. So moving on, putting all the geopolitical issues behind us. And I'm really hoping that Clue 2 brings back my joy, because these yarns that I chose are such special yarns that I cannot replace. These 3 solid purples are a set colorway called Purple Carrots by Julie Osselin out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada, done for a limited edition Yarn-a-Corn series. It's 75% merino, 15% cashmere, 10% silk. And the 4th color I chose was the limited colorway by Numana Yarns out of Edmonton, the Speckle. It's the colorway specially dyed for the May 2023 Gathering Threads Festival in Edmonton. So irreplaceable yarns, and hers is 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% silk. Very special yarns, very cuddly. So hoping that the new Clue brings back my joy with this. So on to happier thoughts. New yarn. And the story behind this purchase. I told you last week that my husband and I were going to Edmonton to help our daughter. So we took his new toy, a fully electric car that he recently bought. And, oh dear, I need to take a breath and reset here. I'll be back. Okay, so our trip to Edmonton in my husband's new Volkswagen ID4 fully electric car. We had it full charge when we left Calgary. The display said it would last about 440 kilometers, but we didn't make it to Edmonton because using cruise control, air conditioning, radio, and all that also drains the battery. So we stopped in Leduc, just south of Edmonton, to charge. We found a charger, a free charger, by the way. So we get out and go for a walk. And as we're walking down the street, I see a sandwich board sign on the sidewalk that says yarn store. And I squealed and I grabbed my husband's hand, yarn store! He freaked out. What the heck am I talking about? What am I upset about? So after lunch, I got to go back to the store. And so I have a short little video I'll put in here of entering to the store that I had posted on Instagram. Stopped in Leduc to charge the car and found a yarn store. The store was Blackbird Knitting Needlework, and they also have a website, which I'll link below. And the first thing I spotted was this glow-in-the-dark yarn. Amigurumi Circulo for amigurumi making, 100% polyester, where is it? #1 yarn, so a fingering weight. It's 50-gram balls, 105 meters per ball, so I bought 2. I'm thinking to use it for a small color work design on a hat. It's glow in the dark. I should probably take some pictures of it glowing in the dark for you. Let's see if that works. And then I was introduced to the store's own hand-dyed yarn. Blackbird Yarns, a Bird of the Month Club. So I don't know which month this was. I know she told me, but I don't remember. But it's, where's this label? Here it is. The Red-Winged Blackbird is the color. And it's fingering weight. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 400 meters to the skein. And they also do matching stitch markers, progress keepers. There. So they'll do a stitch marker to match each month's yarn. So it's a Red-Winged Blackbird. I haven't given any thought yet to what I will make with it, but I just had to have it. I had to have a souvenir of our accidentally coming across the yarn store in our travels. That was fun. And so I'll link their website down below. To get to the links in the website, the description box below where it says ... more, click on that and more will pop up for you. So last but not least, the yarn of the month, color of the month from Ancient Art Yarns. I've been subscribing to this since January. For 2023, her theme each month has been an archaeological site somewhere in the world. So we've done 9 of them already. Number 10, Bone Church. On a sock natal base, which is an 80% superwash fine merino and a 20% nylon. So it's a fingering weight, 285 yards in a 100 gram belt skein hank. So as always, I'll read you their notes as written in their emails to their subscribers. So, since October is Halloween, for those of you that celebrate, I personally don't celebrate, but I appreciate the history in all of this. So she says, since October is Halloween, our tour of famous archaeological sites takes us to a delightfully eerie spot the Bone Church, properly known as the Sedlec Ossuary. This unique chapel is located under the Cemetery Church of All Saints. Let's get this in a good view. Located in a suburb of Kutna Hora in the Czech Republic. And I apologize if I'm butchering pronunciations as always. The church itself is renowned for its Baroque architecture, but it's what's underneath that attracts most tourists. The legend goes that in 1278, the abbot of a local monastery visited the Holy Land and returned with a small amount of dirt that he took from Golgotha. And for any of you that don't know the Bible, Golgotha is where they say Jesus is buried. So he sprinkled this dirt in the Sedlec Cemetery, and thus the cemetery became a much sought-after burial site. By the early 15th century, the cemetery had to be enlarged due to the numbers of burials that occurred as a result of the Black Death and the Hussite Wars. The cemetery church was built in the center of the graveyard in the early 1400s, and as a result of the construction, many of the graves were unearthed. These bones were collected and stored in the lower chapel, and then, as more space was required in the graveyard, more graves were exhumed. At the end, it's estimated that there are between 40,000 and 70,000 skeletons in the ossuary. In 1870, the noble house of Schwarzenberg hired a woodcarver named Rent to put all the bones in order. Not only did Rent organize the bones, he created elaborate and macabre sculptures. There are pillars of skulls in each of the four corners of the ossuary, and an elaborate chandelier which contains at least one of every bone in the human body. Notice the garlands of skulls draped... Whoops, I scrolled a second here. Garlands of skulls draped above the chandelier. Then, to honor his employers, Rent recreated the Schwarzenberg coat of arms in bones. Rent even signed his macabre masterpiece using bones. If you recognize this macabre spot, it's because it has become a popular location for film shoots in the last couple of decades. It's been used for movies such as Dungeons & Dragons, Blood and Chocolate, Adaptation, and The House of 1,000 Corpses. So, Bone Church. I'm not going to show you any of their pictures, but if you're into that, you can find them on the Ancient Arts Instagram page. So here's a closer look at the yarn and the second one that we're going to give away. Now, to enter the draw, I need you to go back to episode 17, because that's where I first introduced the giveaway. That's where we're collecting the entries. So in that video, you'll write in the comment section to tell me what is bringing you joy this week. The contest will close on Tuesday, October the 17th. I will announce the winner in episode 19 on Wednesday the 18th. That's quite an alliteration of numbers. Let's review that again. Enter the draw on episode 17. The contest closes on October 17th. The winner will be announced on October 18th in episode 19 of What Brings Me Joy. So please like, share, subscribe, and I thank you for watching. And until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy sewing, drawing, whatever it is that you like to do, go find some joy.